If I tell you I'm good, probably you will say I'm boasting. If I tell you I'm no good, you know one line.
Yo, what's good, Boxer Talk family? It's your boy Dr. PG NGM. Praise God to get money back for another YouTube video. Banger, man. Yes sir, yes man. I know what time it is. The doctor's in the house, man. So check this out. So we have some news coming from the Naoya Inoue, the monster camp. You know what I'm saying? Top 3 pound for pound. You know, whether you have Naoya Inoue, Terrence Bud Crawford, or Alexander Usyk, first, second, or third, it doesn't matter. They're all interchangeable, but they are definitely top 3 regardless how you cut it, right? So as you know, Naoya Inoue will be fighting Sam Goodman on December 24th. Good Lord willing, you know, Christmas Eve for a lot of us over here. And you know, after that fight, if he wins, he already apparently has somebody potentially lined up for his next fight, you know, and that somebody would be Alan David Picasso Romero. You know, he got 4 names.
Damn. I'm sorry.
Most widely known as David Picasso, though. He's an undefeated Mexican fighter, man. Young bull coming up, and he wants to take the challenge. A big salute to him, you know. I think that he's a good fighter and a good challenger, you know. But is he deserving of Naoya Inoue? I don't know. And the reason why I don't know is because, yes, he's ranked #1 in the WBC. So he would be the mandatory for Naoya Inoue eventually down the line. But you know who else? Who is more deserving of that title shot for Naoya Inoue? Yeah, that would be MJ Akhmadaliev, because guess what? He's ranked #1 as well. Yeah, and he's been ranked #1 for a longer period of time, and he's been calling out Naoya Inoue. So MJ Akhmadaliev, who's ranked #1 in the WBA, while David Picasso is ranked #1 in the WBC, I think MJ Akhmadaliev deserves a shot. In fact, you know, I think he will get a shot after he fights his opponent next week if he comes out on top, right, in Monte Carlo. Now, the caveat is that, you know, I think he'll get a shot, but it just won't be at Naoya Inoue. It'll be at the WBA title, though, because I think they're going to strip Naoya Inoue because MJ Akhmadaliev is fighting for the interim belt for the WBA, you know, and if he wins it, well, you know, the next step, if you pay attention to boxing, once they decide on who's the interim, if that guy doesn't fight him, who's a super champ, then they will get forced to strip. In fact, I told you before a few weeks ago that MJ Akhmadaliev and his team, they have already put through motion and put forward some petitions in order to have Naoya Inoue stripped for the WBA title, since he has been refusing and reluctant to fight him, whether it's Naoya Inoue or his promotional team, you know what I'm saying, with Top Rank, Bob Arum, or whoever it is. You know, now I want to be very clear, you know, Top Rank, I can't remember his name right now. I think it's Moretti, a vice president of Top Rank operations and promotions. He has said that they have no interest in fighting MJ Akhmadaliev, and a lot of Naoya Inoue's fan base don't want MJ Akhmadaliev to fight him either, despite him being a mandatory. So I just think it's funny because you're saying the same people will say that David Picasso is a good fight because he's ranked #1, but then they'll, you know, denounce and be they'll be completely dismissive of MJ Akhmadaliev, who's ranked #1 also and been there longer. Now I want to be very clear when I say this on my behalf. I think Naoya Inoue beats MJ Akhmadaliev, but he still deserves a shot. You know what I'm saying? There's upsets in boxing for a reason. So just because I might think something might happen doesn't mean that I don't like to see it, and he doesn't deserve the opportunity to prove it, right? I think Naoya Inoue will beat John Riel Casimero as well, but I would like to see John Riel Casimero get an opportunity to prove it, or Naoya Inoue to prove that he could beat him. You know, now we know John Riel Casimero won't happen because, you know, he's been suspended after his recent victory over the American Saul Sanchez because he came overweight by 1 pound. So he's been banned for a year out of Japan by the JBC, Japan Boxing Commission. So we won't really see that for a while unless that fight happens in Riyadh season or in the United States. And but yeah, I would like to see that fight. Like I said, I think Naoya Inoue will win. But let me give you some examples of some upsets, right? Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois. That was an upset. Well, hold on, damn. That's a bad example because, you know, over here, we said that Daniel Dubois would upset Anthony Joshua. Let me give you another one. Oh, yeah, Bakram Murtazaliev and Tim Tszyu. Oh, wait, no, I think we said that was going to be a good fight, too. Damn, that's not a good example. Oh, how about Liam Paro and Subra Matias? Damn, again. I also said that Liam Paro would beat Subra Matias. Man, it's kind of hard for me to You know, I'm just so good at it. You know what I'm talking about? Nah, I'm just playing. But oh, you know which one I did get wrong though, for real? Which was an upset? Rayo Valenzuela. I thought Pitbull would beat Rayo, but Rayo beat Pitbull. That was an upset that I was wrong with, and I'm glad to be wrong. I love boxing so much that, you know, when it's an upset and I'm wrong and I'm shocked, I don't get mad, or my ego's not hurt, or my pride's not hurt, because I like boxing so much. And sometimes when the underdog wins, it shakes up boxing in a good way, you know. But I do think Naoya Inoue would beat MJ Akhmadaliev and John Rio Casimiro. But my point is that these fighters deserve an opportunity to prove their worth, and Naoya Inoue has to deserve his opportunity. He has to show us that he would beat them. You know, it's not just enough to win in our minds. But also another thing too, you know, I don't mind David Picasso, people thinking that's a good fight, because like I said, I think it's a decent fight because he is ranked #1, and I do respect the rankings, you know. But I also think it's funny that Edgar Berlanga, who was ranked #1 in the WBA at the time that he fought Canelo Alvarez, people said that, oh, well, it was a terrible fight. Well, he was ranked #1. So it's funny that people will change the rules when it comes to certain fighters that they like. I just want you to be consistent. I thought it was a decent fight. I didn't think it was a great fight because it's not David Benavidez. So anybody that's not David Benavidez that Canelo's fighting, I'm going to be slightly disappointed. That's natural at this point. However, you should have a threshold and a cap on your disappointment, because Edgar Berlanga was ranked #1, whether you think he deserves it or not. Same with Naoya Inoue right here. You know, David Picasso is ranked #1. So, you know, he could get the fight, and it's a decent fight. But if you thought that Edgar Berlanga versus Canelo was a bad fight, then you should also not really think this is a good fight, because David Picasso, his last fight was against Ruiz, and he looked okay. He beat Ruiz pretty decisively, but his fight before that against Azat Havadjian, oh, that was controversial at best. You know, a lot of people thought it was a robbery. Now, don't just go watch the highlights, because the zone highlights will not tell the whole story or tell an accurate story, right? Havadjian has a good case for winning. Like, I thought it should have been a draw at best, or maybe lean towards Havadjian a little bit, you know. So go back and watch the fight if you don't believe what I'm saying. You know, you don't have to believe me. Go watch the footage, you know. But yeah, that fight was controversial, so he didn't look that good. So those people that say, what's my guy's name, MJ Akhmadaliev doesn't deserve a shot because he lost to Tapales, well, he lost a split decision, and he won on one of the judges' scorecards. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, he came back and bounced back and beat Kevin Chacal Gonzalez, who was an undefeated fighter, you know. So and he's ranked #1. So all these excuses, man, it's very weird to me. Like I said, I think Naoya Inoue beats Akhmadaliev. I think Naoya Inoue is going to beat Sam Goodman, the undefeated Australian, and David Picasso if they do fight, you know, the undefeated Mexican. But these fighters deserve to show their worth in the ring and prove us right or wrong, man. So y'all let me know what y'all think about that, man. I'm not too excited about him fighting David Picasso. I think that's an easy win on the way to a potential super fight with him and Junto Nakatani. And I'm telling you right now, I got Junto Nakatani beating Naoya Inoue. I really, really do, man. In the future, you know, good Lord willing, we get to see it. But y'all let me know what y'all think about that, man. Big up Naoya Inoue. I rock with the monster. Some people call him the Japanese turtle. You know, I like him, you know, but I would like to see him fight MJ Akhmadaliev if Akhmadaliev wins his next fight, and if Naoya Inoue wins his next fight. But I'll be cool with Picasso as well, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that in the comments. Don't forget to smack that like button. But most importantly, remember, with God, we can do anything. Without God, we're nothing. The doctor's out. Peace. From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.